69 targets. We bring you all the deliberations, insightful conversations, and high-level partnerships on the road to global destination. Agenda 2030, showing on this channel. Agenda 2030, leaving no one behind.
The adoption of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and the Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs) in September 2015 was a watershed in global efforts to eradicate poverty, reduce inequalities, and protect the environment from degradation. The Nigerian President, Muhammadu Buhari, was among the world leaders who signed up for the adoption of the agenda. In apparent demonstration of our commitment, the Nigerian government immediately embarked on a process of defining a clear pathway for the achievement of the goals. First, the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on SDGs was established with Princess Adejoke Orilokpe Adefolire appointed as the coordinator of the agenda. She has been carrying out the assignment with the commitment and vigor it requires. On assumption of office, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on SDGs immediately hit the ground running by ensuring that the required institutional frameworks were properly put in place for the effective implementation of the goals. These include a Presidential Council for the SDGs inaugurated to provide high-level policy, guidance, and leadership, as well as direction. Committees on the SDGs were also established in the Senate and the House of Representatives to enhance legislative engagement and support for the goals. Active steps have been taken policies, development plans, and budgets as against embarking on standalone projects which lack sustainable characters. Working with other stakeholders and partners, the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on SDGs also carried out the domestication of the Nigeria Integrated Sustainable Development Goals (ISDG) model, realignment of the National Statistical System with the requirement of SDGs, design of the Integrated National Financing Framework (INFF), and the development of a coherent SDGs implementation plan 2020 to 2030 for decade of action for the global goals. Other strategic initiatives include the independent evaluation of 2 priority SDGs and technical and financial support to states on SDGs-based development planning. Nigeria was among the first few countries that responded positively to the call for voluntary national review by the United Nations High-Level Political Forum on Sustainable Development in 2017. Nigeria also defied the COVID-19 challenges to present the second voluntary national review in 2020. Nigeria has also strengthened the national awareness around the goals with the adoption of clearly defined communication strategy, while strong commitment has been made towards effective collaborations with all stakeholders. Frontline celebrities were unveiled as ambassadors for the SDGs, while over 400 Nigerian Youth Service Corps members are also being enlisted annually as SDGs champions since 2017 to take the campaign on implementation of SDGs to the grassroots in various parts of the country, help communicate the messages of Agenda 2030, generates momentum and citizens' commitment for the achievement of the SDGs in Nigeria, as well as raise awareness on all the goals with a view to enhancing actions by key players to attaining the SDGs. The government has also set up the Private Sector Advisory Group, the Donors Partnership Forum, and the Civil Society Strategy Group as key partners in the implementation of the SDGs in Nigeria. In furtherance of our commitment to fast-tracking the achievement of the SDGs in Nigeria, Since 2016, the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on SDGs has embarked on a number of strategic interventions across the 36 states and the FCT. Between 2017 and 2020, OSAP SDGs has constructed and furnished 3,613 blocks of classrooms, constructed and equipped 34 skill acquisition centers, and supplied 4,634 specialized hospital beds to different hospitals across the country. Similarly, the office has completed or about to complete the construction and equipping of a total of 34 number 120 beds mother and child centers, 16 number 80 beds ultra-modern hospitals, and 84 number primary healthcare centers across the country, among other numerous projects. Health and well-being are a cardinal part of the Sustainable Development Goals. Its centrality underscores the saying that health is wealth, and that a healthy people are a wealthy people. The interlinkages of the goals suggest that with good health, there is a high tendency for economic growth, which will in turn give room for reduction in hunger and poverty rate. It was in the light of this that the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals constructed and equipped an 80-bed primary healthcare center in Lagos State University. The hospital was recently commissioned by the Governor of Lagos, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who also noted that the facility will provide the needed healthcare for the numerous students and staff within the institution. The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals, Princess Adejoke Orilokpe Adefulire, stated that the facility, as with other hospitals and primary healthcare centers constructed and equipped by her office across the country, is a clear demonstration of the commitment of President Muhammadu Buhari government to address the health challenge in Nigeria. And this aspiration, according to the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals, is in line with the spirit and intent of SDG 3 on quality health and well-being for all, as well as other cross-cutting SDGs. With its commissioning today, the Primary Healthcare Center, LASO, joins other such facilities already delivered by OSAP SDGs and are being put to good use to save lives across the country, Princess Orilokpe Adefulire stated. The 80-bed primary healthcare center, LASO, is fully equipped with state-of-the-art facilities, including intensive care unit, operating theater, laboratory, blood bank and consultation rooms, emergency ward, as well as male and female wards, among other facilities. These facilities are testament to His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari's commitment in prioritizing policies and programs with potential impact on the lives of the poor and vulnerable Nigerians. It is therefore expected that state government and the management of the institution will make judicious use of the center in a sustainable way for the benefit of the staff and students. Princess Adejoke Orilokpe Adefulire stated, adding that the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals is committed to prioritizing key interventions with multiplier effects on multi-dimensional poverty, such as strategic healthcare provisioning.
the health system of the community has been in a state of dilemma for most of the people that live in this environment, in the sense that they don't have a standard hospital at the level of the general, which is the secondary level in this facility. Most of the hospitals in this area, before this structure was erected, they are usually at the level of the basic health center, which is at the primary level. So, since this place has been built, the people that live in this environment has been enjoying it. We have had a lot of patients, both inpatient and outpatient. The one that we see on regular days for clinic, and those ones that we also have on admission. So people have been enjoying it, and they have been giving a lot of kudos to the federal government for the wonderful work that they have done in this environment. We want to appreciate the effort of the SDG concerning this environment and the facility in total. A lot of instrument facilities has been supplied, which are this one that we could see here, the bed, the machine that we use for the pediatrics, which are including the resuscitation and the rest of them. Inside the trial, we have a lot of instruments there, the couch, the anesthetic machine, and the rest of everything that we could have seen in the picture that I've taken. We have used most of this one. Like about 1 week ago, we had a CS for a patient that was unable to deliver by herself, and the cesarean section was effective, very, very effective. We have also had a lot of minor surgery and everything and the rest of them inside the theater, which were very, very successful. So on account of this, we want to appreciate the effort of the SDG for this wonderful work and the facilities that they are supplying in this hospital.
Before this hospital was built,
in all its efforts, including the attainment of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. I thank you.
Agenda 2030, showing on this channel. Agenda 2030, leaving no one behind.
At the heart of the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals agenda is equity, which is enshrined in its slogan of leaving no one behind. Countries such as Nigeria, in pledging to the SDGs, have committed to the actualization of this vision. Goal 3 of the SDGs focuses on ensuring healthy lives for all at all ages, placing equity as a central issue in health towards ensuring easy access to affordable healthcare as a way of bringing some level of balance, especially among the poor population. In healthcare delivery, leaving no one behind implies that issues of health inequalities is addressed by promoting universal health coverage to ensure that people, especially in rural areas, obtain the health services they need without suffering hardship. It also includes health protection, promotion, prevention, treatment, rehabilitation, and palliation. It is in line with this commitment that the federal government of Nigeria, through the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals, or SAP SDGs, has once again delivered a 120-bed mother and child care hospital in Ayakorin, Asa local government area of Kwara State. Equipped with state-of-the-art facilities, which includes operating theaters, recovery rooms, private and general wards, scanning room, consultation rooms and laboratory, ultrascan machine, vacuum extractor delivery set, an emergency cart with full complements. The 120-bed Mother and Child Care Hospital, named after the First Lady of Nigeria, Hajia Dr. Mrs. Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, is one of the over 25 of such advanced medical facilities being established across the country. Speaking at the event, which was well attended by top government functionaries, traditional rulers, and other stakeholders, Kwara State Governor Abdurrahman Abdurrazak, in his response, expressed his sincere appreciation to President Muhammadu Buhari and Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals of SAP SDGs for the hospital project. He also reiterated the commitment of his government to the achievement of SDGs and on human development.
I commend my sister, the Senior Special Assistant to the President of Sustainable Development Goals, Excellency Princess Abuja for supporting the Kwara State government in various interventions in the past and ongoing. This includes the donation of bed and ICU beds and other COVID-19 pandemic related material. I hope the office of the SSC to continue to support Kwara State as she's doing all over the nation.
Senior Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals, Her Excellency Princess Adejoke Orilokpe Adefulire, in her remarks at the commissioning and handover ceremony of the facility, noted that the project is a strategic intervention directly linked to the achievement of SDG 3 on quality health and well-being of all, as well as other cross-cutting SDGs. The SSAP asserted that the OSAP SDGs is committed to prioritizing key interventions with multiplier effects on multi-dimensional poverty, such as basic healthcare and education provision, in line with President Muhammadu Buhari's promise to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in 10 years.
Based on the promise of President Muhammadu Buhari to ensure that people of Nigeria enjoy good health and well-being and good healthcare for coverage, irrespective of their gender, irrespective of their status, he has given instruction particularly for women and children that they must have good health, and of course to ensure that women must not be left behind.
Princess Adejoke emphasized that the federal government will continue to prioritize interventions with potential impact on the lives of the poor and vulnerable Nigerians in the bid to ensure that no Nigerian is left behind in the race to achieving the 2023 agenda. She added that interventions like the mother and child centers are also necessary to stop the primary and secondary effects of COVID-19 pandemic from reversing decades of human development gained through the SDGs. Princess Orilokpe Adefulire appreciated the Kwara State Governor Abdurrahman Abdurrazak for his commitment and ongoing support for the implementation of the SDGs in the state, and urged beneficiaries of such interventions to take advantage of them to achieve the intended purposes. Some of the traditional rulers, district heads and residents who spoke on the significance of the project to their community also thanked the federal government for the laudable intervention.
This hospital is very unique and very uncommon. Even the Janjat is very Janjatic and supersede the one in my headquarters at local government. But I know everybody is under us. We have to thank the governor, the special assistant, for bringing this project to our domain for the second time, because it will assist our women and the small children. Instead of transporting them to Afan or going to Ilorin or QE, the attention will be given to them here, and this will be a reduced rate of maternal mortality within our local government.
I feel fulfilled with these gigantic projects that the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, had deemed it fit to cite this type of project in my local government. In fact, I feel fulfilled, and in fact, the benefit of the edifice to my people cannot be emphasized.
Agenda 2030. As a successful framework for the Millennium Development Goals, the global community rolled out a bigger, deeper, and more encompassing framework called the Sustainable Development Goals, designed to transform our world, lift the poor out of poverty, as well as ensure inclusive and healthy society. On Agenda 2030, we take you on a media trip to the global destination of the future we want. With everyone on board, we focus on the people and their struggle, the civil society and their agitations, the government and her development effort, the global development agenda, its 17 goals and 169 targets. We bring you all the deliberations, insightful conversations, and high-level partnerships on the road to global destination. Agenda 2030, showing on this channel. Agenda 2030, leaving no one behind.
Nigeria will continue to support the United Nations in all its efforts, including the attainment of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. I thank you.
Agenda 2030, showing on this channel. Agenda 2030, leaving no one behind.
And that's the show for today. Do follow us on all our social media platforms. And until we come your way with a fresh episode next time, keep taking actions for the goals for a better world.
Not been able to land a devastating one. Oh, and then he gets a devastating blow himself, just as we were talking about it. But personally, I don't put no expect. Oh, I shot one there. You never saw. Man does not look like he's going to have any answers today because nobody. Oh, a heavy hand there, and he knocks down Altendila. And Ebola there, swinging, a foot there, he kept in there. Oh, and Audu Arugungu is down. Ebola has won this one predictably. Going in with a very heavy fist there. Oh! Wonderful!
The history of art is as old as the history of man. Man by nature is artistic when it comes to how it relates to his environment. Life is said to be an expression of beauty and art, where different materials or things are used to beautify the environment and even the human body. The beautification of the human body tells a story of different cultures, but one commonly found in this part of the country is the henna designs.
Hello and welcome to the news update at 11. I am Tessie Omeri. The federal government says it is not leaving anything to chance towards unmasking, apprehending and bringing to justice all those behind the security breaches, economic sabotage and wanton destruction of lives and property in parts of the country. Defense Minister Bashir Magashi gave this assurance after the meeting of the Federal Executive Council presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari.
Really on top of the situation, we are planning hard to unveil those who are involved, and we'll tell you very soon the people that are carrying out these activities.
Preliminary reports of what transpired at Kaduna train attack shows a kind of unholy handshake between bandits and the dislodged Boko Haram fighters from the northeast. But overall, I can tell you without any fear of equivocation that the various government is on top of this matter.
And 10 newly appointed members of the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, as well as the National Population Commission, has been sworn in. President Muhammadu Buhari performed the ceremony in accordance with the provisions of the nation's constitution.
Well, I feel great, excited, but I know it's a lot of work that I need to do to be able to meet the yearnings and aspirations of Nigerians, especially that of Mr. President.
Fighting corruption in this country is a very big challenging task. But I want to assure the President and all other stakeholders that we are going to add value in the fight against corruption.
Vice President Yemi Oshibajo hosted the All Progressives Congress senators to a dinner at his official residence in the presidential villa, Abuja. President of the Senate, Aman Lawan, says the Vice President intimated the APC senators of his intention to run for the office of the President at the 2023 presidential election. The President of the Senate also promised Nigerians of the commitment of the APC administration to good governance.
And we wish the Vice President, His Excellency, good luck in this endeavor. But let me assure everyone that the Senate APC caucus and indeed the National Assembly caucus of the APC will continue to work very hard for our great party, the APC, to continue to provide services for Nigerians.
And that's the news update. For now, there will be more update at 1. Thanks for watching. I am Tessie Omeri. Good morning.
This is the network service of the NDA.
every artistic baker is motivated by the desire to create a concept, not having a mind to compete with others. And if you're exceptional at what you do, you can't be ignored. This is Baker's World on the network service of the NTA, your #1 baking show on television. I'm glad to have you join us. I am Funke Oyele.
We have an exciting lineup for you today on Baker's World. We'll be sharing with you a lemon sponge cake recipe. Our guest is a Wilton Method instructor who has been in the cake making business for decades. And you certainly won't want to miss our gist of the week on Baker's World. We are set to educate, inform, and inspire you today on the show. Don't go anywhere. Do stay with us. Guest baker is a resourceful, calm, and super creative cake artist. Ibironke Adelokun is an indigene of Okitikupa local government area in Ondo State. She was born on November 30th. Ibironke Adelokun is a graduate of catering and hotel management from the Yaba College of Technology, Lagos in 1999. To cover Nick for herself, Ibironke attended a master course in PME method of cake decorating. She is the creative director of Flourishing Best Confectionery, Abuja. Join us as we chat with this soft-spoken and result-oriented cake maker, Ibironke Adelokun.
You're welcome to Baker's World.
Thank you very much.
You chose to go into hotel and catering management as a course to study. How did this come about?
As a child, I loved anything food. And I just, I believe it was God that worked it out because He just pushed me into that path. So everything I do, so long as it's connected to food, I do with ease, no struggles. So that made me know that was just my path. So I really easily fitted in.
From that young girl that loved baking, cooking and making pastries to the professional baker that you are today, tell me more about how that journey started for you.
Apart from graduating from school as a graduate of hotel and catering management, I also attended a confectionery school for cake decorating. But then I always subscribed for some foreign magazines. The name of that magazine was Cake Decorating. It comes from both the US and the UK. So I studied them and I make sure that I practice what I learned from it. So it really helped.
Let's talk about food safety. Because I attended one of your events where you talk about food safety and the importance. Now, for those who didn't attend your event, tell us more about the importance of having good knowledge of food safety as for people who are in the food making business.
Yeah, thank you very much. Food safety is one of the very first things anyone that will handle food must have good knowledge about, because as you see food, with a good knowledge of food safety, a lot of sicknesses and diseases can be prevented. It won't even happen. Some of us just handle food. Some people don't know that there's a particular temperature when your food is safe. If it goes below that temperature, it's danger. If it's above, it's danger. So this proper knowledge, food handling comprises of so many things, from the person handling the food to the environment where you are working, how to take proper care, to the food itself. So if you don't have a knowledge, you do things anyhow. And what do you expect? You put the life of people at risk.
You talked about business school. How important is it for a baker? Like people just said, oh, I just bake cake. Oh, I just make cake. Why do I need to go to a business school? And that's one of the things you always say.
The skill is not enough. you need to be equipped on how to run a business combined with your skill. Because, anytime I have this privilege, I always tell people it's one of the mistakes I made as a startup. I didn't have a knowledge of business. I had the skill, but I didn't have a knowledge of business, which sort of slowed me down in the course of running business. Because without a proper business knowledge, you can't run any business successfully.
What would your advice be for that young person out there that wants to become a professional baker and is thinking, where do I start? Where do I begin? What tools do I need? Where do I get money? How do I start? What is your advice for that young person?
When you have the skill for a business as like cake making, which is what we are talking about. When you are equipped, you have your skills, you're able to know your areas of strength, what you do with ease, that is easy for you. So that guides you on what equipment do I need to invest on. And you don't have to set up the whole room in one day. Your skill, that great knowledge you have, will be the one to be buying your equipment for you as you progress, as you work. But you can always start with something little that you have. And like I always tell people, especially as a beginner, when you are buying equipment, don't buy an equipment that can only solve one problem. Before you invest in an equipment, it should be something that can do 3, 4, 5 things for you. One equipment. So that way you can grow and equip yourself in the course of the profession.
Thank you so much. It's really been a pleasure having this conversation with you.
Thank you so much. It's a privilege to be here.
That was our conversation with the CEO of Flourishing Bests, Mrs. Ibironke Adelokun. Now we'll take a quick break here, and when we come back, we'll take the next item on the lineup. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hello people, this is NTA Baker's World. Keep watching, stay tuned for the latest trend in the cake industry and the sugar crop world. Catch ya, stay tuned and stay glued.
It's basically different shaped cakes ranging from squares, circles, and there's a hexagon. But the hexagon is placed the other way, not the regular up sideways. It's downside up. I think it's the new trend that is currently in vogue, that people are doing, like the flip sides of cakes. So I decided to infuse that into like a regular wedding cake. Top side forward. If you could see this is supposed to be the top of the cake. That's supposed to be flat, but now it's facing forward. So we brought the base to the top. So now it's not now the regular hexagon that it is. It's now a hexagon that is facing forward. I was looking for something outside the box, and I guess this was, in the short period of time I had, this was the best I could come up with.
Are you wondering why I'm holding a sponge foam? Because today's episode is all about a lemon sponge cake. So we will watch and see as our amazing baker, Ibironke Adelokun, is going to show all the steps and procedure in making a sponge cake. And we will also have a taste to see if it's as soft and as bouncy as this foam I am holding.
Today I'll be taking you on how to make lemon sponge cake, and you can see I have my ingredients ready here. To make the lemon sponge cake, you need the paddle attachment. Fixing my The first ingredient I'll be using is my flour. Add my sugar, the baking powder, and the salt. I'll allow it to get aerated for about 5 minutes, incorporating air into it. Margarine should be at room temperature. I'm softening my margarine now to ensure that there are no lumps. I'll be dropping my margarine carefully. You don't dump into the dry ingredients. You carefully lower it into your flour, adding my egg to the mixture. I'm mixing on low speed for the first 1 minute. Then the rest of I have to do this for another 5 minutes. After the first 1 minute, I'll now increase the speed. Now I'm going to scrape down the side of my bowl to ensure that everything is properly mixed. We are going to leave it for another 2 minutes. So now our batter is ready. I'll be adding the lemon, which is the back of the lemon, the zest, my lemon juice, and coconut flavor. Then I'll roll it for another 1 minute and it should be ready to go into the oven. So after your batter is properly mixed, this is what you're going to have. A very smooth and silky batter. So I'm going to remove my handle attachment and move the batter into the pan now. So when you've had a good mix, this is what your batter should look like. Why I love making this particular recipe is because it's fast and easy to make. You can see in less than 10 minutes, we have everything set. Now it will be going into our pan. But another thing I'd like to tell you, you can also make use of your blender jar. Just this way we follow the procedure. But when you are using the blender, you work on low speed. And you can't, depending on the size of your blender, you may not do as much as what the bowl can contain. That means you have to do it twice. So now the batter is going into the pan. You can also sprinkle your lemon rind over your batter before it goes into the oven. And this is what we have. Cake is out of the oven. You can see it's looking so nice. So we are going to leave it for some time to cool down, not less than 2 hours, so that to properly cool down. No heat is trapped in the cake. Then we will level the cake, fill it, and decorate it with our white buttercream. To make the white buttercream, here are my ingredients: my white vegetable shortening, my water, into which Salt has been dissolved and the icing sugar. My white vegetable shortening into the mixer, and I'll add half of my water into the white butter cream. So I'm going to allow it mix for about 3 minutes so that it will be properly softened before I'll add my icing sugar into it. So my white butter cream is in process now. You can see the shortening is softened already. Now I'll be adding my icing sugar into the softened shortening mixture. The icing sugar is sieved already. I will allow it to mix for another 3 minutes. I'm going to spread down the side of the bowl to ensure that everything is properly incorporated into the mixture. Okay, we are now going to have the final mix just for 30 seconds. Now our white butter cream is ready. This is our white butter cream. As you can see, it really white. So our cake has properly cooled down. We have leveled the cake. We have filled it. So now we are going to crumb coat. That is sealing up the crumbs. I have my white butter cream here, which I have reconstituted to be spreadable. So I'm going to start by spreading this all around the side of my cake to fill in the crumbs. Just take a little quantity to do the filling process. So I'm done sealing up. Then I take my smoother to smoothen it to ensure that I have a very smooth base. Now we are going to keep this in the refrigerator for 20 minutes before we do the final covering. While we are waiting for our cake to get set, we'll be getting the decorations, the final decorations for the cake ready. So we'll be piping flowers, still using our white butter cream. I already have some colors. Another important thing I need is my parchment squares to pipe my buttercream flowers. So I put a little dash of icing on my flower nail to secure my flour when I'm piping it. So I'll start by making the center of my rose. I use the flour tip to pipe. I'm going to start from up. I'll make the center of the flour. I'll keep pushing out from my right hand, and I'll turn the flour nail with my left hand until I cover the center. Then I'm going to have 3 petals. 1. After the 3 petals, I'll have 5 petals. And after the 5, I'll have 7. So I'm going to take this off carefully using my palette knife, and I'll place it here. So I have my different flowers here. I have the rose and I have the blossom. Our cake is out of the refrigerator. It's now time to do the final covering, applying our white buttercream. So I spread it out. Start smoothing the cake. We go as many times as possible. Now I have my complete lemon sponge cake decorated with white buttercream. Now we'll move into the next decoration, which is basket weave piping. I'm going to give an elevation in the center. So the flower is set. I'll dip my palette knife in corn flour to lift up the flower. Can you see? I'm going to work mixing the colors together. So now we'll be fixing leaves on the flower, you know. From nature, your flower is incomplete without leaves. I present to you our lemon sponge cake decorated with white buttercream with basket design filled with flowers.
This cake looks amazing. Very elegant, very simple, and still very tastefully decorated. But you know, we must see if it tastes as good as it looks. So let's have a taste of it. I love the floral part of it. It's just so elegant. A sponge cake The beauty of this cake is all about the texture. Do you know, we're talking about the spongy feel of a sponge cake. I love this cake. You've done a wonderful job. And you know, this recipe is also very flexible. If you want to try something like this, you don't need a big, huge mixer. Just like our baker said, you can always use a blending machine and it will give you the same consistency like this. I hope you enjoy this episode. We'll come next week with another interesting and exciting package for you on Baker's World. For your comment, feedback, participation, you can reach us on all our social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. It's Baker's World on NTA. I am Funke Oyele. See you next week.
This is the network service of the NDA.
Assembly reaching you on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I'm Lami Ali. The Deputy Speaker, Ahmed Idris Wase, is presiding over the day's plenary. Before now, the House has considered a number of items, among which are the third reading of three bills, while 2 bills were passed for second reading. One of the bills passed for second reading is a bill that seeks to establish Real Estate Regulatory Council of Nigeria. At this moment, they are about going into consideration of reports at the Committee of the Whole, and the Chairman Rules and Business is reading out some of the bills for consideration.
Items to enable Honorable Aminu Boro, who is now on seat, to lay the reports. I saw
alongside with Honorable Anasa Ururum,
okay.
Committee on Pension.
Also, item number 6 on the other paper to enable also Honorable Kabiru Hassan Ururum to also present to lay the report. I saw Mr. Speaker.
I don't know who's at the assembly there. Yes, sir. Can you second barrister? And 2 barristers there. One I know practicing, one with the bench, and then.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable members. Formachi Bitrus Lowry, representing Numan Delsa, Lamode Federal Constituency. I so second for the report to be laid. Thank you.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. The speaker then next business for the day is presentation of the report of committee on pension on a bill for an act to amend the Pension Reform Act 2014 to provide for exemption of the Nigerian police force from the contributory pension scheme and for related matters standing in the name of Kabiru Al-Hassan Rurum. All members will recall that the bill was read the first time were referred to committee on Tuesday, 21st September 2021. The report is ready for presentation. Honorable Rurum is invited to present the report. Your Excellency, Inshallah.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My respected colleagues, I remain Right Honorable Kabir Al-Hassan Rurum. I represent Honorable Kuretibe Federal Constituency. The Speaker, I am from Kano. I rise to move that the House will allow me to present the report, that the House do receive the report of the Committee on Pensions on a bill for an act to amend the Pension Reform Act 2014 to provide for the exemption of the Nigerian police force from the contributory pension scheme and for related matters. I so submit, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. Thank you. The authentic Shetima.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I'm Lahan Shetima Ali, representing Bursari Gaida Ministry Federal Constituency and from UBSSA. I rise to second the motion heavily moved by His Excellency Honorable Rurum. I so second, sir.
My respected colleagues, those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Your Excellency, inshallah, can go ahead and lay his support. Respected colleagues, the next business for the day is presentation of 3 reports of the Committee on Tertiary Education and Services, standing in the name of the only comrade, Honorable Aminu Suleiman Goro. Honorable Suleiman is invited to present his motion, to present his support.
Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, I am from Kano State, Central Kano State City. And my name is Comrade Aminu Suleiman.
Cosmopolitan. I don't understand what you mean by Central Kano State.
He means cosmopolitan.
No, I know the member. There's a member municipal representing Kano, and I know you are not from the municipal. You are not the municipal member representing Kano.
He means cosmopolitan Kano, where everyone has come to converge them.
Thank you, sir.
By the entrance gate.
Thank you, sir. Donna.
Oh, you are accepting his explanation. He's an intruder because from Austria. Thank you, sir. My name is Comrade Aminu Suleiman. I represent Pegi Federal Constituency. I want to thank the House for giving us the opportunity, myself and Rurum, to represent our report for consideration of the House. I therefore move that the House do receive the report of the Committee on Tertiary Education and Services on a bill for an act to establish Federal College of Education, IDERI, to provide full-time courses, teaching, instruction, and training in technology, applied sciences, art, social sciences, humanity and management, and to provide for appointment of the provost and other officers of the college to carry out administrative and discipline of student. Sorry, let me take it. Carry out the administration and discipline of student of the college and for related matters. HB 309. I also move that the House do receive the report of the Committee on Tertiary Education and Services on a bill for an act to establish Federal Polytechnic, IAT, or your state, to provide courses leading to the award of diploma, higher national diploma, and allies for the administration of the institution and for related matters. HB 310. I also move that the House do receive the report of the Committee on Tertiary Education and Services on a bill for an act to establish National Institute of Industrial Technology, QUALE, to provide for its functions and management and for related matters. HB 9.
Honorable colleagues, please. Order. Honorable Hembe.
I move, Your Excellency.
I thought Deputy Whip, you call Hembe with very good distinct, having known his ambition and the prospect. His Excellency.
Your Excellency, incoming. Hembe.
Seconder. Yes, sir. My runaway friend.
I forgive you. Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. Dr. John Ye from Benue State, Boko Takafra constituency. I write to second the motion raised by Honorable Aminu Suleiman for a bill for an act to establish the Federal College of Education Idere to be laid the second time. We're laying out the reports and to support also the motion for a bill for an act to establish the Federal Polytechnic Ayete to be laid. Also, I support the motion for the bill for an act to establish the National Institute for Industrial Technology Quality to be laid, the reports to be laid, the three reports. I so second, Your Excellency.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. That's it. Honorable Comrade, go ahead and lay your reports. I think that was a supplementary from his side. Respected colleagues, the 11th order of the day is consideration report of the Committee on Tertiary Education and Services and Navy on a bill for an act to establish an Admiral University of Nigeria, Abuja, as conventional university with selected programs, limited and focused faculties to promote scholarship, research, and other means of advancement of knowledge and its practical application to military hardware and software as well as maritime, arts, science, and technology, and provide an opportunity for acquiring a higher and liberal education in Nigeria and for related matters. All members recall that the report was laid on Tuesday, 7th April 2022. Honorable Aminu Suleiman will move for his consideration.
Are we starting consideration, sir?
Consideration, yes.
Okay.
You are not ready?
No, I am. You will come back to this chair. Honorable Chairman, my respected colleagues, the first report for consideration has to do with the establishment of Federal College of Education, Oron, to provide full-time courses and instructions in technology and applied sciences. What is it? Go ahead. No, the decision is for consideration. Yeah. I therefore move, Honorable Chair, that the House do consider the report on the Committee of Tertiary Education and Services on a bill for an act to establish Federal College of Education, Omoaran, to provide full-time courses, teaching, instruction, and training in technology, applied sciences, art, social sciences, humanities, and management, and to provide appointment of provost and other officers of the college, and to carry out administration and the discipline of students of the college and for related matters, HB 131, and approve the recommendation as contained in our report. Honorable Chair, colleagues, I also move that the House do consider the report of the Committee on Tertiary Education and Services on a bill for an act to establish Federal College of Education, Elebele, Ogbia, Bayelsa State, to provide full-time courses, teaching instructions, and training in technology, applied sciences, art, social sciences, humanities, and management, and to provide for the appointment of the provost and other officers of the college to carry out administration and discipline of the student and for related matters, HB 1507. And I also move that the House do consider the report of the Committee on Tertiary Education and Services and Navy on a bill for an act to establish Admiral University of Nigeria, Abuja, as a conventional university with selected programs, limited and purpose faculties to promote scholarship, research, and other means of advancement of knowledge and its practical application to military hardware and software, as well as maritime, arts, sciences, and technology, and to provide an opportunity for acquiring higher and liberal education in Nigeria and for related matters, HB 1339, and approve all the recommendations as contained in our report. I move, Honorable Speakers.
Second, Honorable Ali.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Respected colleagues, Ari Mohammed Abdel Mumin, my name, I represent Nasrau Total Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion. Every moved by a colleague, I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against the that's submit. Respected colleagues, the 12th order of the day is constitutional report of the Committee on Petroleum Resources Downstream on need to investigate the importation and distribution of adulterated premium motor spirit, PMS, into Nigeria. Honorable members recall the report was laid on Wednesday, 16 March 2022. Honorable member Abdullahi Mahmoud Gaya will move for his consideration. I think, I'm sorry to say that it was not delayed, but consideration. So we're resuming consideration of this report. Mama, you have to move for the resumption of the consideration of this report.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. Honorable Ifa Chudimoma is my name. I'm a member of the House Committee on Petroleum Resources Downstream. I do move that the House reconsider the report of the Committee on Petroleum Resources Downstream on the need to investigate the importation and distribution of adulterated premium motor spirits, PMS, into Nigeria and approve the recommendations therein. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Seconder, Honorable Aga.
Thank you, the Right Honorable Speaker, my very dear and respected colleagues. I remain Honorable Avia Musa Aga. I represent Basa Jos North Federal Constituency. Your Excellency, I'm from Plateau State. I rise to second the motion ably moved by my respected colleague. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against any, there's a bit. The next order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of bill for an act to amend the Appropriation Act 2022 in order to provide for sorry, please. The next order that is constitutional report of the Committee on Finance on the request by the President for the revision of the 2022 fiscal framework. On was recalled the report was laid on Tuesday, 12 April 2022 on James Faleke Olu for its consideration. In his absence, yes, Chairman rules.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I am Abubakar Hassan Fulata. I represent the new Krika Samaguni Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from the Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I move that the House do consider the report of the Committee of Finance, that the House do consider the report of the Committee on Finance on the request by the President for the revision of the 2022 fiscal framework and approve the recommendation therein. 1. That the oil price benchmark of $75 per barrel be approved. 2. That oil production volume of 1.6 million barrels per day be approved. 3. That petroleum motor spirit PMS subsidy of 4 trillion be approved. That 4. That a cut in the provision for federally funded upstream projects being implemented by 200 billion naira from 352.8 billion be approved. 5. That an increase in the projection for federal government implementation independent revenue by 400 billion be approved. 6. That an additional provision of 182.45 billion to cater for the needs of Nigerian police force be approved. 7. That domestic debt service provisions of some 6.1 billion and net reduction in statutory transfers by 66 billion 66.07 billion as follows. A. Niger Delta Development.
I want to beg that when we get into the committee of the whole supply, we'll be able to address those ones.
I so move.
Thank you. Seconder, Honorable Buba.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm Yusuf Buba Yakub. I represent Gombe Home Federal Constituency from Adamawa State. I rise to second the motion moved by Honorable Flack. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. That's have it.